you've likely been dared to say her name, alone in the dark. Just you in the mirror.
Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary.
But who was she, and where did this legend come from? Let us explore the alleged origins of Bloody Mary. The Bloody Mary bathroom ritual seems to derive in part from the Japanese ghost story Hanako-san, also known as Tori no Hanako-san, or Hanako of the toilet. The legend originates around the time of World War II, telling the story of a young girl who died during the war and now haunts school bathrooms. Varieties include the ghost of a young girl who died in the toilet stall either killed by an intruder or in a bombing raid during the war. It is generally set in the legend that she died in the third stall of the third-floor ladies' restroom. To summon Hanako-san, it is believed that a person must knock on the toilet stall 3 times and ask, "Hanako-san, are you there?" Depending on regional variations, Hanako-san will respond and say, "Yes, I am." A ghostly hand will appear, or, upon entering the stall, a person may either be eaten by a 3-headed lizard or pulled down into the toilet and down to hell. This ritual does not involve a mirror, but it does seem to be one of the oldest toilet ghost rituals. According to scholar Alan Dundas, there also seems to be a connection between the Bloody Mary ritual, which is commonly regarded as a ritual performed by young girls, and the onset of puberty and menstruation. The average age of a girl's first menstrual cycle correlates to the age many young women perform this ritual with their friends, around 12 and a half and the years leading up to it. This is another explanation for the ritual taking place in the bathroom, and why it has a repeated emphasis on the sudden appearance of blood. There is also a common connotation with menstruation and witchcraft in the Western folklore. But why a mirror? Folklorist Janet Langlois postulates that the significant utilization of a mirror in the ritual reinforces the social valuation of woman through appearance. Therefore, the mirror may also already be considered a source of anxiety for many women, especially young girls on the verge of puberty. In a 2010 study, psychologist Giovanni B. Caputo looks into the strange face in the mirror illusion, with findings that confirm the visual spectacle some girls report seeing upon performing the Bloody Mary ritual may not be completely falsified. The setup of the experiment is described by Caputo as so: a visual illusion which occurs when an observer sees his or her image reflected in a mirror in a dimly lit room. This illusion can be easily experienced and replicated as the details of the setting, in particular the room illumination, are not critical. These observations were made in a quiet room dimly lit. The task of the observer was to gaze at his or her reflected face within the mirror. Usually after less than a minute, the observer began to perceive the strange face illusion. Each round of the experiment lasts 10 minutes. There were 50 participants in total. Many reported strong emotional responses. Some felt that the face stared at them with an enigmatic expression. Others reported the expression being malign, causing anxiety within the participant. Other times, the face was smiling or cheerful. The name Bloody Mary may have also come from, or may have been influenced by, Mary I, who became Queen of England in 1553, at the age of 37. If anything, only the name and not the myth has origins in Mary I. She was the only surviving child of Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon. Mary I died without producing an heir at the age of 42. Her nickname stemmed from the association of her reign to the persecution of Protestants. Mary was a devout Catholic. To help reinstate Catholicism in England, she wanted to marry Philip II of Spain, despite many objections. But, as king, Henry VIII had given the land that confiscated Catholic monasteries sat on to various English noblemen, who now had motivation to keep Protestantism as the state religion. A Protestant insurrection led by Sir Thomas Wyatt broke out in 1554. Mary rallied thousands to fight them on her behalf, and the Protestants were defeated. Wyatt was executed. Shortly after, Mary married Philip, and Catholicism was once again made the official religion. Mary also had hearsay, opinions or actions against the church, illegal again. For the next 3 years, Mary had heretics and rebels executed and displayed for the public to see. About 300 people were burned at the stake. This was the birth of her nickname, Bloody Mary, and the public began to distrust and blame her for senseless deaths.
You killed them. All those people. You killed them.
This vicious slaughter and the subsequent hate of the Queen, along with the loss of Calais, England's last possession in France, in an unsuccessful war, and a series of false pregnancies depressed and disillusioned the Queen. She died in November 1558, along with her hopes for a Catholic England. The second potential Bloody Mary from history was Mary, Queen of Scots, the daughter of King James V of Scotland and his French queen, Mary of Guise, who had legitimate claim to both the Scottish and English thrones. She was believed to have been involved in the murder of her husband and cousin, Henry Stuart, and after his death, married another one of the suspects, James Hepburn, Earl of Boswell. After letters were discovered implicating Mary in a plot to overthrow Queen Elizabeth I, she was tried, sentenced to death, and beheaded. The third historical Mary wasn't really a Mary. It was Elizabeth Bthory, who was known as one of the most prolific female serial killers in history. It was the nature of her murders that could qualify her as a contender for the real Bloody Mary. She was better known as the Blood Countess, because after sadistically torturing and killing between 100 and 650 young girls, she would bathe in or drink their blood. She believed that this practice would preserve her youthful appearance. Another variation of the Bloody Mary legend is the story of Mary Wales. This legend is sometimes combined with that of the Vanishing Hitchhiker. This story is that of a girl, Mary Wales, who stands on a street corner in the rain wearing a long white dress. If someone picks her up to give her a ride, she would disappear in the back seat, leaving a wet spot of blood. So the next time you utter Bloody Mary,
Bloody Mary's Deke.
let us hope that the drink appears, and not the legend.